The story behind the historic cemetery at the now-closed Dozier School for Boys in Marianna, Florida, is a little clearer thanks to researchers at the University of South Florida. The USF research team disclosed their findings in a report and shared the results with media and family members at a press conference Monday. The report details at least 19 more graves than originally documented at the cemetery, located on the northwest side of the campus, known as Boot Hill.
Not all of the burials are accounted for. We found that records indicate 45 individuals were buried on the school grounds, 31 were shipped home to families or buried in other locations, and 22 remain unknown. Throughout, the historical records are incomplete and often provide conflicting information. When the cause and manner of death is recorded, although it's not in most cases, but when it is, the leading causes of death are infectious disease, fires, physical trauma, and drowning.
The team, led by USF forensic anthropologist Aaron Kimmerly, is a multidisciplinary and collaborative research effort by various programs at the University of South Florida. Anthropologists, archaeologists, and biologists spent 8 weeks at the gravesite conducting soil tests and surveys. Using ground-penetrating radar, researchers say they've discovered a minimum of 50 graves exist near the current location of the cemetery.
The current Boot Hill Cemetery is marked by 31 metal crosses. And so based on this and the archival research, we anticipated finding between 25 and maybe 30 burials. In fact, what we found was, as Dr. Kimberly noted, closer to 50 burials. The black and red rectangles mark the areas where we believe there are burial shafts. And in some of those instances, we have gone back and excavated shallow trenches so that you can see the area where a burial shaft was excavated into the ground. There are areas that we have not yet conducted this kind of ground truthing or testing. And so you can see some anomalies that are not marked at all with any kind of probable or possible burial shaft, and that still remains to be done. So in essence, there could be a much greater number of burials at the site, but at this point we just don't know.
They've also found discrepancies in the record-keeping throughout the years and patterns in the cause and manner of death in some cases.
For example, 8% of boys died following attempted escapes. 23% of boys died within the first 3 months of being remanded to the school. And there's inconsistency among those who were issued death certificates even after 1920, when it was required by the state that a physician certify the death.
USF graduate students have been working closely with the team, and research will continue to determine some of the cultural and community aspects of the findings.
Many of the students spent time at the Florida State Archives looking at historical maps, looking at old school newspapers, school ledgers, and all these kinds of documents provided additional information on things that went on at the school. And we're interested not only in, again, the material record, but the everyday lives of the people, not only for the people who, the boys that attended the school, but also the people who worked at the school. So it's a lot of work left to be done in terms of interviewing people and understanding their connections.
The team made recommendations for future work at the site and emphasized the importance of providing answers to family members of the boys buried at Boot Hill.
Recognizing the historical significance of civil rights issues in Florida and in the area of juvenile justice, and the rights of families to have accountability and transparency as important aspects of restorative justice, we made the following recommendations. Additional field work in the areas surrounding Boot Hill, including test excavations in areas that were marked by GPR anomalies. We suspect there could be more burials there. We recommend horizontal clearing through mechanical excavation to the primary burial area in order to identify specific individual graves and get a very accurate account. Exhumation and skeletal autopsy for forensic, pathological, and anthropological analysis to determine the health, activities, cause of death, and identification for reinterment and repatriation to the families, and additional research and interviews, including all of the various stakeholders that are involved.